After her wedding falls apart due to her fiancé's betrayal, Jasmine's life takes an unexpected turn when she helps a desperate father find his lost son in a park. As she navigates new love, complex family dynamics, and professional challenges, she discovers that sometimes the most beautiful stories emerge from life's biggest disappointments. But before we continue with this story, make sure to hit subscribe and let us know in the comments where you're watching from today. The morning sun peeked through the windows of the bridal suite at the Golden Rose Hotel. Jasmine Carter stood in front of the mirror, her white wedding dress sparkling in the light. This was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. At 35, she had finally found the man she thought she would spend forever with, or so she believed. "You look beautiful, honey," said Martha, Jasmine's mother, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. "Marcus won't know what hit him when he sees you walking down that aisle." Jasmine forced a smile, but her stomach was in knots. Something felt off. She had woken up to a strange text message from her best friend Sarah, asking to speak with her urgently. Sarah hadn't shown up for the morning preparations, which wasn't like her at all. "Mum, could you give me a minute? I need to make a phone call," Jasmine said, reaching for her phone. As soon as Martha left the room, Jasmine dialed Sarah's number. Her hands were shaking. "Jasmine, thank God you called." Sarah's voice was thick with emotion. "I've been trying to figure out how to tell you this all morning." "Tell me what, Sarah? You're scaring me." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "I saw Marcus last night. He was at the Blue Room with Victoria from his office. They were together, Jasmine, really together. Kissing, touching. I took pictures because I knew you wouldn't believe me otherwise." The room started spinning. Victoria was Marcus's new assistant, the one he had hired 3 months ago. The one he said was just a kid and needed mentoring. "Send me the pictures," Jasmine whispered. Seconds later, her phone buzzed. The images were crystal clear. Marcus and Victoria locked in an intimate embrace at a back booth of the popular downtown bar. The timestamp showed 11:43 p.m. the previous night, while Jasmine had been at home getting her beauty sleep before the wedding. Her fiancé had been with another woman. "There's more," Sarah said quietly. "I asked around. This has been going on for months, Jasmine. Everyone at his office knows. I'm so sorry." Jasmine sat down heavily on a nearby chair, careful not to wrinkle her dress. A dress that had cost more than 3 months of her teacher's salary. A dress she had spent hours picking out, imagining the look on Marcus's face when he saw her in it. "Does everyone know?" she asked, her voice barely audible. "Not the wedding guests, but a lot of people at his firm do. Victoria's been bragging about it to the other assistants." The door opened and Martha poked her head in. "Honey, the photographer wants to start the pre-ceremony shots. Are you ready?" "Mom," Jasmine's voice cracked, "I need you to come in here." Martha must have seen something in her daughter's face because she quickly closed the door behind her. "What's wrong, baby?" "The wedding's off." The words came out surprisingly steady. "Marcus has been cheating on me. Sarah has proof." Martha's face went from confusion to shock to anger in the span of seconds. "That no good son of a—" She stopped herself, took a deep breath, and sat next to her daughter. "What do you need me to do? Tell everyone to go home. Make up whatever." "Excuse you want, I can't face them right now." "Of course, sweetheart. But what about Marcus? Don't you want to confront him?" Jasmine looked down at her phone where another message from Sarah waited. "Actually, yes. Yes, I do." 20 minutes later, still in her wedding dress, Jasmine marched through the hotel lobby toward the groom's suite. Her mother had tried to convince her to change first, but Jasmine refused. She wanted Marcus to see her exactly like this, to understand exactly what he was throwing away. She didn't bother knocking. Using the keycard she had for emergencies, Jasmine threw open the door. Marcus was there with his groomsman, adjusting his bow tie in the mirror. He turned at the sound of the door, his face breaking into a smile that quickly died when he saw her expression. "Jasmine, what are you doing here? It's bad luck to—" "Bad luck?" Jasmine's laugh was hollow. "No, Marcus. Bad luck is what you're about to have when I tell everyone what you've been doing with Victoria." The color drained from his face. His groomsman, sensing the tension, started inching toward the door. "It's not what you think," Marcus started, but Jasmine held up her hand. "Save it. Sarah saw you last night. She has pictures. And apparently half your office has known for months while I walked around like an idiot, planning our perfect wedding. Jasmine, please, we can talk about this. Victoria means nothing to me. You're right about one thing. We're going to talk. But first, I'm going to walk into that ballroom full of our friends and family. and I'm going to tell them exactly why this wedding isn't happening, and then you're going to watch me walk away, just like I should have done the first time you lied to me about working late at the office. Marcus stepped forward, reaching for her arm. Don't do this. Think about how it will look. Jasmine jerked away from him. How it will look? I'm not the one who should be worried about appearances, Marcus. By the way, I already called your mother. She's waiting in the ballroom. I think she's especially excited to hear about how her perfect son has been behaving. The mention of his mother made Marcus pale even further. If there was one person he feared disappointing, it was his mother, the society matron who had pushed him into law school and monitored his social climbing with razor-sharp attention. Please, he whispered, I'll do anything. You already did. Everything, Jasmine replied. Everything to destroy us. With that, she turned and walked out of the room, her head held high. Her mother was waiting in the hallway, ready to support her, but Jasmine didn't need it. For the first time since receiving Sarah's call, she felt strong. Yes, her heart was broken. Yes, she would cry later. But right now, she was going to show everyone exactly who Jasmine Carter was. A woman who refused to settle for lies and betrayal, even if it meant walking away from what she thought was her happy ending. As she entered the ballroom, 200 faces turned to look at her. Some already knew something was wrong. Her mother had started quietly telling people the wedding was cancelled, but most were still in the dark, waiting for a ceremony that would never happen. Jasmine took the microphone from the band's lead singer and faced the crowd. I'm sorry to tell you that there won't be a wedding today, she announced, her voice clear and strong. I've just learned that my fiancé has been having an affair with his assistant for the past 3 months. I know many of you traveled far to be here, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience. The reception hall will still be serving lunch, so please, enjoy the meal. Consider it my parting gift. As for me, I have somewhere else to be. With that, she handed back the microphone, turned on her heel, and walked out of the ballroom. She could hear the gasps and murmurs behind her, could practically feel the shockwaves rippling through the crowd, but she didn't look back. In the lobby, she pressed the button for the elevator. As the doors opened, she heard Marcus calling her name. She stepped inside and pressed the button for the ground floor. The last thing she saw before the doors closed was Marcus's face, twisted with panic and regret. Outside, the spring air was crisp and clean. Jasmine took a deep breath, then another. Her wedding dress rustled around her feet as she walked down the street, not sure where she was going, but knowing she needed to move, to get away from that hotel and everything it represented. She ended up at Jefferson Park, a beautiful green space in the heart of the city. Couples walked hand in hand along the paths, children played on the swings, and elderly men played chess at concrete tables. Normal life going on while her world had just imploded. That's when she heard it. A man's voice, frantic and scared, calling out a name. Leo! Leo! Where are you? Jasmine turned toward the sound, and her life changed forever. Leo! Leo! Where are you? The man's voice cracked with desperation as he ran through Jefferson Park. Jasmine watched as he stopped nearby, running his hands through his dark hair. He wore an expensive suit that was now wrinkled and dusty, his tie loose around his neck. His face was a mask of pure panic. Are you looking for someone? Jasmine called out, momentarily forgetting her own troubles. The man turned to her, his eyes wild with worry. My son. He's 7 years old, wearing a blue t-shirt and jeans. I looked away for a minute to take a business call, and when I turned back, his voice trailed off. I'll help you look, Jasmine said, gathering up her wedding dress. What's his name? Leo. I'm Ethan Grayson. He barely seemed to notice her bridal attire, too consumed with worry for his son. We need to call the police. Let's check the playground first, Jasmine suggested, her teacher's instincts kicking in. Kids often get distracted by the swings. Hand slides. They hurried toward the playground, calling Leo's name. Other parents started to take notice, joining in the search. Jasmine's dress was getting dirty from the park paths, but she didn't care anymore. Does Leo have any favorite spots in the park? She asked as they walked. Ethan's face fell. I don't know. I don't bring him here often enough. My assistant usually brings him while I'm at work. There was such raw pain in his voice that Jasmine's heart ached for him. It's okay, we'll find him. They searched for another 10 minutes, checking every corner of the playground. No Leo. Ethan was about to call the police when Jasmine spotted something. A small figure sitting at a bench near an ice cream cart, half hidden behind some bushes. Is that him? She pointed. Ethan's face lit up with relief. Leo! He ran toward the bench with Jasmine following more slowly in her cumbersome dress. The little boy looked up as his father approached. He had Ethan's dark hair and sharp features, but his eyes were softer, more vulnerable. "Dad?" "Leo, thank God." Ethan pulled his son into a tight hug. "I was so worried. Why did you run off like that?" Leo's lower lip trembled. "You promised we'd spend the whole afternoon together, but then you got another work call, and you always take work calls and you never have time for me," and the boy burst into tears. Ethan looked helpless, holding his son but clearly unsure how to handle the emotional outburst. Jasmine stepped forward, her teacher's experience guiding her. "Hi Leo, I'm Jasmine. Your dad was really scared when he couldn't find you. He ran all over the park looking for you." Leo looked up at her, his tears slowing. "Why are you wearing a wedding dress?" "That's a long story," Jasmine said with a small smile. "But right now, I think you and your dad need to talk. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, but that doesn't mean they don't love you very much." Ethan shot her a grateful look. "She's right, buddy. I'm sorry about the phone call. I shouldn't have taken it. You're more important than work. You always say that," Leo mumbled. "But you never mean it." Ethan flinched as if he'd been slapped. He sat down on the bench next to his son, still holding him close. "I know I've broken a lot of promises, but I want to do better. How about we get some ice cream and talk about it?" Leo's eyes lit up slightly. "Really? No more phone calls?" "No more phone calls," Ethan promised, pulling out his phone and turning it off completely. In fact, he loosened his tie completely and took it off, then removed his suit jacket. "No more business, Mr. Grayson, for the rest of the day. Just Dad. Can Miss Jasmine have ice cream with us?" Leo asked suddenly. "She helped find me and she looked sad." Ethan seemed to finally notice Jasmine's tear-stained face and dirty wedding dress. "I'm so sorry. I was so worried about Leo. I didn't even ask. Are you okay?" Jasmine tried to smile, but her lips trembled. The events of the day came crashing back. "Not really, but helping find Leo made things a little better." "Then you definitely need ice cream," Leo declared, with the certainty only a 7-year-old could muster. "Dad always says ice cream makes everything better." "Please join us," Ethan said softly. "It's the least we can do to thank you for your help." Jasmine looked down at her ruined wedding dress, then back at the hopeful face of the little boy and his clearly struggling father. "I should probably change first. There's a boutique across the street," Ethan offered. "I'll pay for whatever you want to wear. It's the least I can do after you helped find my son. I couldn't possibly—" "Please." Leo's big brown eyes were impossible to resist. "You look like a princess, but you can't eat ice cream in a princess dress. It might get dirty." Jasmine couldn't help but laugh. "The dress is already pretty dirty from searching the park, but you're right. Ice cream requires more practical clothing." An hour later, Jasmine sat in the park wearing a simple sundress and sandals, eating chocolate ice cream with Leo and Ethan. Her wedding dress was safely stored in a garment bag, though she had no idea what she'd do with it now. "So," Ethan said carefully, "do you want to talk about why you were wandering the park in a wedding dress?" Leo was busy chasing a butterfly nearby, giving them a moment of privacy. Jasmine sighed. "I was supposed to get married today, but this morning I found out my fiancé has been cheating on me with his assistant. Instead of saying I do, I told everyone at the wedding about his affair and walked out." "That took courage," Ethan said quietly. "Did it? Sometimes I think running away was cowardly." "You didn't run away. You stood up for yourself. There's a difference." Ethan watched his son playing. "I wish I had your courage. It took my son running away for me to realize how badly I've been failing him." "You're here now," Jasmine pointed out. "That counts for something." "Dad," Leo called out, "can we feed the ducks, please?" "Sure, buddy." Ethan stood up, then turned to Jasmine. "Would you like to join us unless you have somewhere else to be?" Jasmine thought about her empty apartment, about the dozens of missed calls on her phone, about all the people who would want to talk about what happened at the wedding. "You know what? Feeding ducks sounds perfect right now." As they walked toward the pond, Leo slipped his small hand into Jasmine's. "I'm glad you helped find me," he said simply. "Me too," Jasmine replied, feeling tears prick at her eyes again. But this time, they weren't entirely sad tears. They spent the rest of the afternoon in the park. Ethan kept his phone off, focusing entirely on his son. He was awkward at first, clearly unused to sustained interaction with Leo, but he tried. And when he didn't know what to do or say, Jasmine found herself naturally stepping in, bridging the gap between father and son. As the sun began to set, Leo yawned widely. "Time to head home, buddy," Ethan said. picking up his son. "Will we see Miss Jasmine again?" Leo asked sleepily. Ethan looked at her questioningly. "That's up to Miss Jasmine." Jasmine thought about it. Every logical part of her brain said she shouldn't get involved with anyone right now, especially not a single father with obvious issues. But her heart had other ideas. "How about dinner next Friday?" she suggested. "I know a great pizza place." Leo's face lit up. "Can we, Dad? Please?" "I'd like that," Ethan said softly. "Very much." As they exchanged phone numbers, Jasmine felt something she hadn't expected to feel today: hope. Her wedding day had turned into a disaster, but somehow it had also led her to this moment, with a sleepy 7-year-old smiling at her and a man who seemed just as lost as she was, but who was trying to find his way. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end of her story. Maybe it was just the beginning. A month had passed since that fateful day in Jefferson Park. Jasmine sat at her desk in her third-grade classroom, grading papers during lunch break. Her phone buzzed with a text message from Ethan. "Leo got an A on his math test. He says it's because of your tutoring. Thank you." Jasmine smiled, remembering how their Friday pizza dinners had evolved into helping Leo with his homework. It hadn't been planned. Leo had simply pulled out his math worksheet one evening, struggling with fractions, and Jasmine's teacher instincts had kicked in. Another message came through. "Having dinner at my place tonight. Leo's making his world-famous spaghetti. Wouldn't miss it," she replied, her heart warming at the thought. Sarah, who was having lunch with her in the classroom, noticed her expression. "Let me guess, another text from Mr. Tall, dark and complicated." "He's not complicated," Jasmine defended, though they both knew it wasn't true. "Honey, he's a workaholic single dad with trust issues and an ex-wife who's still in the picture. That's the definition of complicated." Sarah took a bite of her sandwich. "I just don't want to see you get hurt again. It's only been a month since Marcus." "This is different," Jasmine insisted. "Ethan and I are just friends. He needs help with Leo and I need the distraction." "Right, because friends look at each other the way he looks at you when he thinks no one's watching." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Just be careful, okay?" Later that evening, Jasmine stood in Ethan's impressive kitchen, watching Leo carefully stir the pasta sauce while wearing an oversized chef's hat. Ethan hovered nearby, clearly nervous about his son being near the stove. "Dad, you're doing it." "Again," Leo complained. "You promised to let me cook." "He's fine, Ethan," Jasmine assured him. "I'm right here watching him." Ethan relaxed slightly, but his phone buzzed before he could respond. His face fell as he read the message. "Work?" Jasmine asked, already knowing the answer. "Thompson Industries wants to move up the merger timeline. They're calling an emergency board meeting." He looked at Leo, who had gone very still at the stove. "Buddy, I'm so sorry." "It's okay," Leo said in a small voice that made it clear it wasn't okay at all. "Miss Wilson can watch me, she always does." "No," Ethan said firmly, surprising both Leo and Jasmine. "Not this time. The board can wait until tomorrow." He typed out a quick message on his phone, then turned it off completely, something Jasmine had noticed he'd started doing more often during their time together. Leo's face lit up. "Really, you're staying? Really? Can't miss your world-famous spaghetti, can I?" The smile that spread across Leo's face was worth everything. He threw himself into his father's arms, sauce-covered spoon and all, leaving a red stain on Ethan's expensive white shirt. "Oh no!" Leo looked horrified. "Your shirt!" But Ethan just laughed, really laughed, in a way Jasmine had never heard before. "It's just a shirt, buddy. Now, how about you teach me how to make this sauce of yours?" As father and son worked together at the stove, Jasmine felt her heart swell. She'd seen the changes in both of them over the past month. Leo was more confident, more willing to express his feelings instead of running away. And Ethan was learning to be a father instead of just a provider. The doorbell rang, interrupting the moment. "I'll get it," Jasmine offered, heading to the front door. She opened it to find a striking woman in her late 30s, dressed in designer clothes and wearing an expression of barely concealed disdain. "Who are you?" the woman demanded. Before Jasmine could answer, she heard Ethan's voice behind her. "Olivia, what are you doing here?" "I came to see my son." Olivia, Ethan's ex-wife, said coldly. "I didn't realize you had company." "Dad, the sauce is bubbling," Leo called from the kitchen. "Go," Jasmine said softly to Ethan. "I've got this." Ethan hesitated, looking between Jasmine and Olivia, but the sound of Leo's voice won out. He headed back to the kitchen, leaving the two women facing each other. "So," Olivia said, her eyes scanning Jasmine from head to toe. "You're the teacher I've been hearing so much about, the one who's been playing house with my family." "I'm Jasmine Carter. I'm a friend of Ethan and Leo's." "A friend?" Olivia's laugh was sharp. "Please, I know your type. You see a wealthy single father, a vulnerable little boy, and you think you've hit the jackpot." Jasmine felt her temper flare. "You don't know anything about me. I know you were left at the altar a month ago. Word gets around in certain circles. Tell me, is Ethan your rebound or is he just convenient?" "Mom!" Leo appeared in the hallway, his chef's hat slightly askew. "You're early. We're making spaghetti." Olivia's entire demeanor changed, her face softening into a warm smile. "Hello, darling, something smells wonderful." She brushed past Jasmine and went to hug her son. Ethan appeared behind Leo, his expression guarded. "Olivia, we agreed you'd pick Leo up tomorrow morning." "Plans change," Olivia said smoothly. "Besides, I wanted to meet the woman our son keeps talking about." She turned to Leo. "Darling, why don't you go pack an overnight bag? We can have dinner at my place instead." But we're cooking." Leo looked between his parents, his earlier happiness fading. "Leo stays here tonight," Ethan said firmly. "He's cooking dinner for us, and I won't let you disappoint him." "Us?" Olivia's eyes narrowed. "You mean you and your new girlfriend?" "Miss Jasmine isn't Dad's girlfriend," Leo piped up. "She's our friend. She helps me with math and reads me stories and doesn't take work calls during dinner." The last part was clearly a dig at both his parents, and both Ethan and Olivia had the grace to look ashamed. "Leo, honey," Olivia started, but Ethan cut her off. "The custody agreement is clear, Olivia. Your time with Leo starts tomorrow morning. Right now our son is in the middle of cooking dinner, and I won't let you ruin this for him." Something in Ethan's voice, a strength that hadn't been there before, made Olivia step back. "Fine," she said tightly. "But this isn't over, Ethan. We need to talk about arrangements." After she left, the happy atmosphere of earlier had evaporated. Leo stood in the hallway, his chef's hat now clutched in his hands. "Is Mom mad because of Miss Jasmine?" he asked in a small voice. Jasmine's heart broke. "Maybe I should go." "No!" Both Leo and Ethan spoke at the same time. "Please stay," Leo added. "The sauce is almost ready." Ethan moved closer to Jasmine, speaking quietly. "I'm sorry about Olivia. She's protective. She's worried about Leo, I understand that." "She's worried about losing control," Ethan corrected. "Ever since the divorce, she's used Leo as a way to manipulate me. But seeing you with him, seeing how a real family could work," he trailed off, seeming to realize what he'd said. Jasmine felt her heart skip a beat. A real family? Is that what they were becoming? "The sauce!" Leo's cry broke the moment, and they all rushed to the kitchen. The sauce wasn't ruined, though it had bubbled over slightly. As they cleaned up the mess together, laughing and joking, Jasmine couldn't help but think about Olivia's words. Was she really just rebounding with Ethan? Was she fooling herself about this just being friendship? But watching Leo teach his father the secret ingredient for his sauce, extra garlic powder, seeing Ethan's genuine joy in this simple moment with his son, Jasmine knew the truth. Whatever was happening between them wasn't simple, and it wasn't just about getting over Marcus. It was about healing, about learning to trust again, about building something new from the ashes of their past disappointments. The question was, were they ready for it? And more importantly, would Olivia let them find out? The Monday morning rush at Cedar Grove Elementary was in full swing when Jasmine noticed something was wrong. Parents were gathered in small groups in the parking lot, whispering and casting glances her way. Some quickly looked away when she made eye contact. "Did you see the article?" Sarah caught up with her at the entrance, waving her phone. "It's all over the local news sites." Jasmine's heart sank as she read the headline, "Jilted Bride Sets Sights on Grayson Millions. Local Teacher Moves from Cancelled Wedding to Dating. Real Estate Tycoon." The article was filled with quotes from anonymous sources, describing how Jasmine had orchestrated her wedding drama to gain sympathy, then deliberately targeted Ethan Grayson and his young son. There were even photos, clearly taken with a long lens, of her, Ethan and Leo at the park at restaurants outside her apartment. "This has Olivia written all over it," Sarah said grimly. Before Jasmine could respond, the school principal, Mrs. Henderson, appeared in the hallway. "Ms. Carter, a word in my office, please." The whispers followed her all the way to the principal's office. Inside, Mrs. Henderson gestured for her to sit down. "I assume you've seen the article," the principal began. "Mrs. Henderson, none of it is true. I would never—" "Jasmine." The older woman's voice was gentle. You don't need to explain yourself to me. You're one of our best teachers. But parents are concerned. They're questioning whether someone involved in such public drama should be teaching their children. What are you saying? Nothing for now, but be careful, and maybe keep your personal life a bit more private. The rest of the day was torture. Jasmine could feel the stares, hear the whispers. Even some of her students seemed affected, clearly picking up on their parents' gossip. By the time she got home that evening, she was emotionally exhausted. She had turned off her phone after the 10th call from an unknown number, probably reporters looking for comment. A knock at her door made her jump. When she looked through the peephole, she saw Ethan standing there, looking worried. "I just saw the article," he said as soon as she opened the door. "Jasmine, I'm so sorry, this is all my fault." "It's not your fault," she sighed, letting him in, "though I'm pretty sure I know who's behind it." "Olivia." Ethan's face darkened. "She's always been territorial. But this is a new low even for her. She's Leo's mother. She's worried about him. No, she's worried about losing control. She's always been like this. Manipulative, possessive. It's why our marriage fell apart." Ethan ran a hand through his hair. "I should have warned you about her." "Would it have made a difference?" Jasmine asked softly. Before Ethan could answer, there was another knock at the door. This time, when Jasmine looked through the peephole, her blood ran cold. Marcus stood in the hallway. "Jasmine?" he called through the door. "I know you're home. Please, we need to talk." Ethan noticed her pale face. "Who is it?" "Marcus," she whispered. "My ex-fiancé." Ethan's expression hardened. "Do you want me to get rid of him?" Part of her did, but another part, "No, I need to handle this myself." She opened the door. Marcus looked exactly as she remembered. Handsome, well-dressed, confident. But now she could see something else too. The calculation behind his charming smile, the self-interest masked as concern. "What are you doing here, Marcus?" "I saw the article," he said. "About you and Grayson." "Jasmine, you're making a huge mistake. This guy's got a reputation." He stopped short when he saw Ethan standing behind her. "Mr. Grayson," Marcus said, his tone changing completely. "I didn't realize clearly." Ethan's voice was cold. "Would you like to finish what you were saying about my reputation?" Marcus straightened his tie nervously. "I'm just concerned about Jasmine. After everything we've been through." "Everything we've been through?" Jasmine couldn't believe what she was hearing. "You mean how you cheated on me with your assistant? How you lied to me for months? How you let me plan our entire wedding while you were seeing someone else?" "That was a mistake," Marcus pleaded. "I've ended things with Victoria. I've been trying to call you to explain." "There's nothing to explain." Jasmine's voice was steady now. "You know what? I should thank you. If you hadn't shown your true colors, I might have married you. I might have spent years believing your lies, never knowing the kind of man you really are." "Is that what this is about?" Marcus gestured toward Ethan. "Revenge? Making me jealous by dating someone richer, more powerful? Not everything is about you, Marcus. In fact, nothing in my life is about you anymore." Jasmine stepped back, closer to Ethan. "Please leave. You're making a mistake," Marcus warned. "This guy, he's just using you. Everyone knows he's still hung up on his ex-wife. You're just a distraction, a way to make her jealous." "That's enough." Ethan's voice cut through Marcus's tirade like a knife. "Leave. Now. Before I call security." Marcus looked like he wanted to say more, but something in Ethan's expression made him think better of it. He turned and walked away, but not before giving them both a look that promised this wasn't over. As soon as the door closed, Jasmine's legs gave out. Ethan caught her, guiding her to the couch. "Are you okay?" "No," she admitted. "My job might be in jeopardy. My reputation is being dragged through the mud, and my ex-fiancé just showed up to warn me about you." She looked at him. "Is he right? About you still being hung up on Olivia?" Ethan was quiet for a long moment. "Olivia and I, it's complicated. We were young when we got married, both focused on our careers. When Leo came along, neither of us knew how to be parents. I buried myself in work. She buried herself in social obligations. By the time we realized what we were doing to each other, to Leo, it was too late." "That doesn't answer my question." "No, I'm not hung up on Olivia," Ethan said firmly. "But she is Leo's mother, and she'll always be part of our lives. The question is, can you handle that?" Before Jasmine could answer, her phone rang, the school's ringtone. With trembling fingers, she answered it. "Ms. Carter?" It was Mrs. Henderson again. "We need to talk about your position here at Cedar Grove." Jasmine closed her eyes, fighting back tears. In just one day, everything she'd built seemed to be crumbling around her. Her job, her reputation, her growing relationship with Ethan and Leo, all of it threatened by shadows from the past. Ethan took her free hand, squeezing it gently. She squeezed back, drawing strength from his presence. Whatever was coming, she wouldn't face it alone. But as she listened to Mrs. Henderson's carefully worded suggestions about taking some time off, Jasmine couldn't help but wonder, was this all too much, too soon? Was she ready for this kind of battle? And most importantly, was what she was building with Ethan and Leo worth fighting for? Looking at Ethan's concerned face, feeling the warmth of his hand in hers, she already knew the answer. The real question was, would they survive what was coming? "The board has called an emergency meeting," Mrs. Henderson said, her voice echoing in the empty classroom. "They want to discuss your situation." Jasmine sat at her desk, surrounded by her students' artwork and projects. After a week of administrative leave, she'd been called in after hours to discuss her future at Cedar Grove Elementary. "My situation?" Jasmine's voice was tight. "You mean the lies being spread about me in the media?" "Jasmine," Mrs. Henderson's face softened. "You know I'm on your side, but 3 more parents have withdrawn their children from your class. The board is concerned about the school's reputation. What about my reputation?" Jasmine stood up, anger finally breaking through her careful composure. "I'm a good teacher. My students love me. Their test scores are among the highest in the district, and none of that matters because of some gossip? It's more than gossip now." Mrs. Henderson handed her a tablet. "This was posted an hour ago." The headline made Jasmine's stomach drop. "Exclusive, the truth about Jasmine Carter. Former fiancé speaks out." The article was worse than she could have imagined. Marcus had given a full interview, painting himself as the victim of Jasmine's social climbing ambitions. He claimed she had been secretly seeing Ethan even before their wedding, that she had orchestrated the whole dramatic scene at their wedding to gain public sympathy. "He's lying," Jasmine whispered. "None of this is true." "I believe you," Mrs. Henderson said gently, "but the damage is done. The board meets tomorrow morning. I'll do my best to defend you, but..." She didn't need to finish the sentence. They both knew what was coming. Jasmine drove home in a daze, tears blurring her vision. When she pulled into her apartment complex, she saw a familiar car parked outside. Olivia Grayson stepped out, looking as polished and intimidating as ever. "We need to talk," Olivia said as Jasmine got out of her car. "I really don't have the energy for this right now. It's about Leo." Olivia's words stopped Jasmine in her tracks. "And Ethan, and what your little soap opera is doing to my family." Inside her apartment, Jasmine watched as Olivia surveyed the modest space with barely concealed disdain. "I'll make this simple," Olivia said, turning to face her. "Leave them alone. Both of them." "Excuse me, you've had your fun, played house with my son, made my ex-husband think he's found something real. But it's time to end this before anyone else gets hurt." "The only one hurting people is you," Jasmine shot back. "You're the one planting stories in the media, aren't you? You and Marcus." Olivia's smile was cold. "Marcus was quite helpful once I explained the situation to him. He still cares about you, you know, wants to protect you from making a huge mistake. The only mistake I made was not seeing through people like you and Marcus sooner." "People like us?" Olivia laughed. "You mean successful people? People who understand how the real world works?" She pulled an envelope from her designer. Speaking of which," she placed the envelope on Jasmine's coffee table. "Consider it a parting gift, enough to start fresh somewhere else away from all this drama." Jasmine stared at the envelope in disbelief. "You're trying to buy me off?" "I'm trying to help you," Olivia said, her voice suddenly serious. "You really think you can handle being part of this world? The media scrutiny, the social obligations, the constant pressure. Look what's already happening to your career, your reputation. Get out." Jasmine's voice shook with anger. "Take your money and get out." "Think about it," Olivia said, heading for the door. "The offer won't last forever." As soon as Olivia left, Jasmine called Ethan. It went straight to voicemail. She tried again with the same result. Her phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. "Turn on Channel 7 now." With trembling hands, Jasmine turned on her TV. Her heart stopped when she saw the scene playing out on the news. Ethan and Olivia were leaving an upscale restaurant together. The camera zoomed in as Olivia touched Ethan's arm, leaning in close to whisper something. The headline below read, "Grayson Power Couple Reuniting?" Another text from Sarah. "There's more. They were there for over 2 hours." Someone got pictures. More photos appeared on screen, Ethan and Olivia sitting close together, heads bent in intimate conversation. In one shot, Olivia was wiping something from Ethan's face. Her expression tender. Jasmine felt like she couldn't breathe. Why hadn't Ethan told her he was meeting Olivia? Why hadn't he answered her calls? Her phone buzzed again. Leo's babysitter, Miss Wilson. Mr. Grayson asked me to stay late. Said he had an important dinner meeting. Is everything okay? Before Jasmine could respond, there was a knock at her door. Her heart leapt, thinking it might be Ethan coming to explain. But when she opened the door, she found Marcus standing there. I know you're hurting, he said softly. I saw the news. Let me help you through this, like you helped Olivia spread lies about me. Marcus had the grace to look ashamed. She can be very persuasive, but seeing what they're doing to you, it's not right. I want to make things right by destroying my career, my reputation. By telling the truth. Marcus stepped closer. I'll retract everything I said. I'll tell everyone how Olivia manipulated me, how she orchestrated this whole thing. Jasmine studied his face, looking for the man she'd once thought she loved. Why would you do that? Because I still love you, Marcus said, and because you deserve better than being another chapter in the Grayson family drama. As if on cue, her phone buzzed with a text from Ethan. Need to talk, can I come over? Jasmine stared at the message, then at Marcus, then at the TV still showing pictures of Ethan and Olivia together. What's it going to be, Jasmine? Marcus asked softly. Are you ready to hear the truth about Ethan Grayson? Standing in her doorway, caught between her past and what she'd thought was her future, Jasmine had never felt more lost. The man she'd almost married was offering redemption, while the man she was falling for seemed to be slipping away. And, somewhere across town, a little boy who had stolen her heart was waiting for his father to come home, unaware that his whole world might be about to change again. What was the right choice? Who could she trust? And most importantly, what was the truth behind Ethan's dinner with Olivia? The answers would change everything, if she was brave enough to face them. Are you ready to hear the truth about Ethan? Grayson? Marcus's words hung in the air as Jasmine's phone buzzed again with another message from Ethan. Please, it's not what you think. Get out, Marcus, Jasmine said quietly. Jasmine, I said get out! Her voice rose. I don't need your help, your truth, or your manipulation. I need you to leave, now. After Marcus left, Jasmine stared at her phone, at Ethan's messages. Her finger hovered over the reply button when another knock came at her door. This time, it was Leo. Leo, Jasmine's heart dropped. What are you doing here? Where's Miss Wilson? I ran away, Leo admitted, his small face determined. I heard Miss Wilson talking on the phone about Dad and Mom being together at a restaurant, and I had to see you. Oh, sweetie. Jasmine pulled him into a hug, then quickly texted Miss Wilson to let her know Leo was safe. You can't run away like that. Everyone must be so worried. Are you and Dad breaking up? Leo's voice was small. Is he getting back together with Mom? It's complicated, honey. Jasmine led him to the couch. And your dad and I weren't exactly... Don't say you're just friends, Leo burst out. I'm not a baby. I see how you look at each other. I see how happy Dad is now. He laughs and plays and doesn't work all the time anymore, and you make us feel like a real family. Tears pricked at Jasmine's eyes. Before she could respond, her phone rang. Ethan. He's here, she said as soon as she answered. Leo's with me. Thank God. Ethan's voice was raw with relief. I'm on my way. 20 minutes later, Ethan arrived, still wearing his dinner suit. His tie was loose, his hair messy from running his hands through it. Leo, he said as soon as he entered, don't ever do that again. You scared us all to death. Why were you with... Mom? Leo demanded. Are you getting back together? Ethan looked at Jasmine, then back at his son. Nobody. Your mom and I are not getting back together. That dinner, it wasn't what it looked like. Then what was it? Jasmine asked quietly. Ethan sat down heavily. Olivia called, said she had proof that someone was embezzling from the company foundation, the children's charity we started together. She wouldn't discuss it over the phone, insisted on meeting in person. And you couldn't tell me this because I didn't want to worry you. You're already dealing with so much because of us, because of me. Ethan looked exhausted. The dinner was supposed to be quick, just business. But Olivia kept dragging it out, insisting we needed to discuss Leo's future, our past. She made. Sure, the photographers were there, Jasmine realized. I should have seen it coming. Ethan ran a hand through his hair. She's always been good at manipulation, but I never thought she'd go this far. She came to see me, Jasmine said. Offered me money to leave you and Leo alone. Ethan's face darkened. She what? She's scared, Leo said suddenly, making both adults turn to him. Mum's scared of losing me. That's what she told Aunt Rachel on the phone last week. She said she couldn't lose her family again. Jasmine felt her anger towards Olivia soften slightly. Fear made people do desperate things. She knew that all too well. Your mom loves you very much, she told Leo. She's just not handling things well right now. But I love you too, Leo said. And I don't want you to go away because Mom's scared. Ethan moved to sit next to his son. Nobody's going away, buddy, but we need to figure out how to make this work. All of us. Including Mom? Including your mom, Jasmine said firmly. She'll always be your mother, Leo. Nothing changes. That. Ethan looked at her with such gratitude and love that it made her heart skip. I don't deserve you, he said softly. That's not true, Leo protested. You deserve to be happy, Dad. Both of you do. A new knock at the door made them all jump. This time, it was Olivia. She burst in as soon as Jasmine opened the door, but stopped short when she saw them all together. Leo between Ethan and Jasmine on the couch, looking like the family she'd been so desperate to prevent. I've been looking everywhere for you, she said to Leo, her voice shaking. When Miss Wilson called, I'm sorry I scared you, Mom. Leo got up and hugged her. But I had to make sure Miss Jasmine knew the truth, that we need her, that she makes us better. Even you, Mom. Olivia stiffened. Me? You're not so angry when she's around, Leo said simply. And she doesn't try to make me choose between you and Dad, like everyone else does. Tears spilled down Olivia's cheeks, the first real emotion Jasmine had seen from her. Oh, Leo, he's right, Jasmine said quietly. I would never try to replace you, Olivia. I couldn't even if I wanted to. You're his mother. But you could be part of our family too, Leo added, hopefully. A bigger family is better, right? The adults exchanged looks, Olivia uncertain, Ethan hopeful, Jasmine determined. Maybe, Olivia said finally, wiping her eyes. Maybe we could try something different. Starting with retracting those stories in the press, Ethan suggested, his voice firm. Olivia nodded slowly. I'll make some calls tomorrow. And Marcus? Jasmine asked. I'll handle Marcus, Ethan said. He won't bother you again. No, Jasmine said firmly. We'll handle Marcus together. No more secrets, no more trying to protect each other by hiding things. That's what got us into this mess in the first place. Ethan took her hand. Together, then. Together, Leo echoed, grabbing both their hands. They all looked at Olivia, who stood watching them with a mixture of emotions on her face. I can't promise to like this, she said finally, but I can promise to try. For Leo, it wasn't perfect. There would be more challenges ahead. The school board meeting tomorrow, the media fallout to manage, trust to rebuild. But looking at Leo's hopeful face, feeling Ethan's hand in hers, seeing the first glimmer of real humanity in Olivia's eyes, Jasmine felt something she hadn't expected. Hope. Sometimes she realized family wasn't what you were born into or what you almost married into. Sometimes family was what you built together, piece by piece, through all the mess and complications and fear. Sometimes family was choosing to try, even when it seemed impossible. And maybe, just maybe, that was the greatest love story of all. The morning of the school board meeting dawned cold and grey. Jasmine stood in front of her bathroom mirror, adjusting her blazer for the 10th time. Her phone buzzed with a message from Ethan. We're all here for you, whatever happens. The school board meeting room was packed when she arrived. Parents, teachers, and even some students filled the seats. Mrs. Henderson gave her an encouraging nod as she took her place at the front. Ms. Carter, Board President Richards began, his voice stern. We're here to discuss the recent publicity surrounding your personal life and its impact on Cedar Grove Elementary. Before Jasmine could respond, the door burst open. Olivia. Grayson walked in, followed by her lawyer and a man Jasmine recognized as the editor of the local news site that had published the stories about her. I apologize for interrupting, Olivia said smoothly, but I have something to say. The board members exchanged looks. Everyone knew who Olivia was. Her family had donated the library wing. The recent stories about Ms. Carter were false, Olivia announced. They were planted by me and others in an attempt to discredit her. Mr. Phillips here, she gestured to the editor, has signed a full retraction. It will be published within the hour. Murmurs filled the room. Jasmine stared at Olivia in shock. Furthermore, Olivia continued, I want to personally attest to Ms. Carter's character. My son is not in her class, but she has been tutoring him in mathematics. His grades have improved dramatically. More importantly, she has shown him, and all of us, what true integrity looks like. Mrs. Grayson, Board President Richards said carefully, while we appreciate your candor, there are still concerns about Ms. Carter's judgment. If I may? A new voice spoke up from the back. Sarah stood, holding a thick folder. I have letters here from every parent in Ms. Carter's class supporting her. I also have her students' test scores from the past semester, the highest improvement rate in the district. More voices joined in. Teachers, parents, even the school janitor who talked about how Jasmine stayed late to help struggling students. The tide was turning. Then Marcus walked in. I have something to say too, he announced. Jasmine's heart stopped. But before Marcus could speak, Ethan stepped in front of him. No, you don't, Ethan said quietly, unless you want the SEC to hear about those irregular trades you've been making. Marcus paled. You wouldn't try me. Ethan's voice was steel. Walk away, Marcus, it's over. For a moment, Marcus looked like he might argue. Then he turned and left without another word. The board called a brief recess to discuss everything they'd heard. Jasmine found herself surrounded by supporters, her students' parents, her colleagues, even some of the people who had initially complained about her. I don't know what to say, she told Olivia. Thank you. Don't thank me, Olivia replied. I'm just trying to fix what I broke. She paused. Leo asked me this morning if this means you can keep teaching him about fractions. He said you make them fun, even for someone as hopeless at math as his father. Jasmine laughed, tears in her eyes. Ethan's not hopeless. He just needs the right teacher. Yes, Olivia said softly. I'm beginning to see that. The board returned, and President Richards cleared his throat. Ms. Carter, in light of new information and the overwhelming support from the school community, we see no reason to take any action regarding your position. In fact, we'd like to discuss expanding your role to include our new after-school tutoring program. Applause broke out. Sarah hugged her. Mrs. Henderson beamed. Outside the meeting room, Ethan was waiting with Leo. Did you mean what you said? To Marcus, Jasmine asked. About the SEC. Let's just say I had my legal team do some digging after what he did to you. Ethan smiled. He won't be bothering us again. Dad was awesome, Leo exclaimed. He was, like a superhero. We're all pretty awesome, Jasmine corrected, hugging him. Especially your mum today. Speaking of awesome, Ethan suddenly looked nervous. There's something I've been wanting to ask you. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Jasmine's heart stopped. It's not what you think, he said quickly. It's a key to the house. I know it's soon, and there's still a lot to figure out, but Leo and I were talking. We want you to live with us. Leo burst out, unable to contain himself. Please say yes. We can take it slow, Ethan added. Maybe start with you having your own room, see how it goes, but we want you there. Both of us. All of us, came Olivia's voice. They turned to see her standing nearby. I mean, if you're going to be part of Leo's life, we should probably have you closer. For his sake. Coming from Olivia, this was practically a blessing. Jasmine looked at the key in the box, then at the hopeful faces around her. 6 months ago, she had stood, in a wedding dress, thinking her dreams were shattered. Now here she was, surrounded by a different kind of love, messier, more complicated, but somehow more real. Yes, she said, taking the key. Yes to all of it. Leo whooped with joy. Ethan's face lit up. Even Olivia managed a small smile. As they walked out of the school together, teacher, businessman, excited child, and elegant ex-wife, people definitely stared. But this time, Jasmine didn't mind. Let them stare. Let them see what real family looked like. Not perfect, not simple but strong. Let them see what happened when love was worth fighting for. Ice cream to celebrate, Leo suggested. Ice cream sounds perfect, Jasmine agreed. As they headed to their cars, Jasmine felt Ethan's hand slip into hers. Ready for this? He asked softly. She squeezed his hand. Ready for anything. And she meant it. Whatever came next, moving in together, blending their lives, navigating. The complicated waters of co-parenting with Olivia, they would face it together, because sometimes the hardest fights weren't against others, but against our own fears and doubts. And sometimes the biggest victories weren't in defeating enemies, but in building bridges where walls once stood. This was their victory, their new beginning, their fight for love, and they had won. Moving day arrived with unexpected challenges. As Jasmine stood in her apartment surrounded by boxes, reality began to sink in. She was really doing this. Moving into Ethan's house, becoming a daily part of Leo's life, navigating a new kind of relationship with Olivia. Second thoughts? Sarah asked, taping up another box. Not about them, Jasmine said. Just wondering if I'm ready for all of this. The doorbell rang. Jasmine opened it to find Victoria, Marcus's former assistant, standing there nervously. I know I'm probably the last person you want to see, Victoria said quickly, but I needed to tell you something about Marcus. Jasmine hesitated, then stepped aside to let her in. Sarah watched them warily. He's been lying to everyone, Victoria said, wringing her hands. Not just about you and Mr. Grayson, about everything. The firm's money, client accounts. Found proof. What kind of proof? Enough to send him to prison. Victoria pulled out a USB drive. I was scared to come forward before, but after what he tried to do to you at the school board meeting. She paused. I'm not proud of what happened between us. I was young and stupid, and he made me feel special. But now I know I was just another pawn in his games. Jasmine studied the young woman's face. Why are you telling me this? Because he's planning something. I overheard him on the phone with someone talking about getting revenge on you and Mr. Grayson. He said he'd make you both pay for humiliating him. Before Jasmine could respond, her phone rang. It was Ethan. Turn on the news, he said, without preamble. The local business channel was running a breaking story. Grayson Enterprises accused of fraud. Anonymous source claims CEO Ethan Grayson involved in multiple schemes. Marcus? Jasmine breathed. He's trying to tank our stock before the merger, Ethan confirmed. But he doesn't know what I know. Victoria stepped forward. Use my evidence, please. It's time someone stopped him. An hour later, they were all at Ethan's office. Jasmine, Victoria, Ethan, and his legal team. Victoria's documents proved not only Marcus's embezzlement, but also showed he had been the one behind the false accusations against Grayson Enterprises. We need to handle this carefully, Ethan's lawyer advised. One wrong move and the office door burst open. Marcus strode in, followed by two men in suits. I hope I'm not interrupting, he said smoothly. Just thought I'd stop by to discuss terms. Terms? Ethan stood, for keeping certain information quiet. Marcus smiled. Unless you want everyone to know about those offshore accounts. You mean these accounts? Victoria held up her USB drive. The ones you created to hide the money you stole from your clients. Marcus's face went white when he saw her. Victoria? What are you doing here? The right thing. Finally. The two men, with Marcus, stepped forward. Marcus Reynolds? One of them pulled out a badge. FBI, we need you to come with us. You set me up, Marcus snarled at Jasmine. No, Marcus, you set yourself up. Years ago, when you decided that power and money were more important than honesty and love. As the FBI agents led Marcus away, Jasmine felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The last ghost of her past was finally gone, but new challenges waited at home. They arrived at Ethan's house, soon to be their house, to find Leo and Olivia in the kitchen. Something smelled wonderful. We're making dinner, Leo announced proudly. Mom's teaching me her secret pasta sauce recipe. Olivia looked almost shy. I thought, well, since this is going to be Leo's home with both of you, maybe we could start some new traditions. Family dinner once a week? Jasmine felt tears prick at her eyes. That sounds perfect. But as they set the table together, another visitor arrived. This time it was Ethan's father, Richard Grayson, a man Jasmine had never met. I hear I have a new almost daughter-in-law, the elderly man said gruffly. Dad, Ethan warned. We've talked about this. Let me finish, son. Richard turned to Jasmine. I didn't approve at first. Thought this was another of Ethan's impulsive decisions. But then I did some checking. Found out about your work with kids, how you handled that mess at the school. Most importantly, I saw how happy my grandson is now. He pulled out an old photo from his wallet. This was Ethan's mother. She was a teacher too. Had the same kind of heart you do. He handed the photo to Jasmine. She would have liked you. Dad. Ethan's voice was thick with emotion. Welcome to the family, Jasmine, Richard said simply. Try not to let these Grayson men drive you too crazy. Too late, Olivia quipped, surprising everyone with her humor. They laughed together. Ex-wife, new love, father, son, and grandson. An unlikely family, bound not by traditional ties but by choice and love. After dinner, as they all sat in the living room sharing stories and planning the move, Jasmine watched Leo showing his grandfather his latest art project, while Ethan and Olivia discussed school options without any tension. Happy? Ethan asked softly, sitting beside her. Terrified, she admitted. But yes, happy. It's okay to be scared, he said. I am too. But you know what Leo told me this morning? He said real families aren't perfect. They're just real. Smart kid. He gets that from his mother, Olivia called out, making them all laugh again. As the evening wound down, Jasmine found herself in what would soon be her home office. The walls were still bare, waiting for her touch. Through the window, she could see the garden where she and Leo had already planned to plant flowers in the spring. This wasn't the life she had imagined for herself. It was messier, more complicated, and infinitely more real than any fantasy. She'd had about perfect weddings and happily ever afters, but standing there, listening to the sounds of her new family downstairs, Jasmine knew one thing for certain. She wouldn't have it any other way. Sometimes the hardest truths led to the greatest joys. Sometimes the biggest confrontations brought the deepest peace. And sometimes, just sometimes, what looked like an ending was really just the beginning of a much better story. 3 months. After moving in together, Jasmine sat in the garden she and Leo had planted, watching the first flowers bloom. The morning sun cast long shadows across the newly installed playground equipment, a compromise between Ethan's desire to give Leo everything and Jasmine's insistence that kids needed to earn some things. Deep thoughts? Olivia's voice startled her. They had settled into a routine of Saturday morning handoffs for Leo's weekend visits with his mother. Just thinking about how much has changed, Jasmine admitted. Olivia sat down beside her on the garden bench. Leo got an A on his math test yesterday. He said it was because of those fraction games you invented. He's a smart kid. He just needed to find the fun in it. Like you helped me find the fun in co-parenting. Olivia's smile was genuine now, something that still surprised Jasmine sometimes. Before Jasmine could respond, Leo burst out of the house, followed by Ethan carrying his overnight bag. Mom, can Miss Jasmine come to my piano recital next week? It's at the same time as my weekend with you, but I really want her there. Olivia and Jasmine exchanged looks. This was new territory, the first major event during Olivia's time. Of course she can come, Olivia said smoothly. In fact, why don't we all go together? We can have dinner afterward at that Italian place. Sure you like? Leo's face lit up. Really? All of us? All of us, Ethan confirmed, setting down the bag and joining them. If that's okay with everyone. The way he looked at Jasmine made her heart skip. Even after months together, he still had that effect on her. More than okay, she said. After Leo and Olivia left, Ethan pulled Jasmine close. I have something to show you. He led her to his home office, a room she rarely entered, respecting his need for private space. But today was different. The usual business papers were gone from his desk, replaced by architectural drawings. What's this? Plans for the children's center, he said. The one you've been dreaming about. Jasmine stared at the drawings. Ever since losing her teaching job, she'd resigned from Cedar Grove despite being cleared, knowing it was time for a change. She'd talked about wanting to create a place where underprivileged kids could get tutoring, mentoring, and a safe space to learn and grow. Ethan, the Grayson Foundation wants to fund it, he continued. Full backing, no strings attached. You'd have complete control over the programs, the staff, everything. But your board already approved it, unanimously, he smiled. Turns out having a former teacher who turned around the foundation's public image and helped catch a major fraudster gives you some pull. Jasmine traced the drawings with trembling fingers. This is really happening? Only if you want it to. Ethan took her hand. You've given up so much to be part of our lives. Your job, your independence, I want you to have something that's truly yours. But I haven't given up anything, Jasmine protested. I've gained everything, a family, a home, love, and now maybe a dream come true. He pulled her close. You deserve it all, Jasmine. The family, the career, the love, everything. A knock at the door interrupted them. It was Richard Grayson, looking unusually nervous. Hope I'm not interrupting, he said. Just wanted to drop this off. He handed Jasmine a small box. Inside was a delicate silver locket. When she opened it, she found a tiny photo of Ethan's mother on one side. The other side is empty, Richard said gruffly. Thought maybe you might want to put a picture of our boy in there. Or Leo, or both. Dad. Ethan's voice was thick with emotion. Margaret always said family wasn't about blood, Richard continued. It was about choice, about choosing to love someone every day, even when it's hard. He looked at Jasmine. You've chosen this family every day since you met them. Think it's time we made it official." "What do you mean?" Jasmine asked. Richard pulled out a folder. "Adoption papers. For Leo, if you want them." Jasmine's hands shook as she took the folder. "But Olivia, it was her idea," Ethan said softly. "She came to me last week. Said Leo deserves to have you as more than just Dad's girlfriend or Mum's friend. Said he deserves to have you as his other mother, legally and officially. But only if you want it," came Olivia's voice from the doorway. She and Leo stood there, having come back for a forgotten schoolbook. "Please say yes," Leo begged. "Then you'll really be my mum too. Forever." Jasmine looked at the faces around her. Ethan's hope, Richard's gruff approval, Olivia's careful acceptance, and Leo's pure joy. "Are you sure?" she asked Olivia. "Really sure. I'm sure that my son deserves all the love he can get," Olivia said simply. "And I'm sure that you love him as much as I do. Different, but just as much." Tears streamed down Jasmine's face as she nodded. "Yes, yes, to all of it." Leo launched himself into her arms. Ethan wrapped them both in a hug. Richard wiped suspiciously at his eyes, and even Olivia smiled. Later that night, after everyone had gone and Leo was asleep, Jasmine stood in the garden again. The flowers she and Leo had planted were reaching toward the sky, growing stronger every day. Like love, she thought. Like family. Like the choice to believe in second chances and new beginnings. Ethan joined her, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "Happy? More than I ever thought possible," she admitted. "A little scared too." "Of what?" "Of how much I love you all, of how right this feels, of losing it." He turned her to face him. "You won't lose us. We chose you, Jasmine, and you chose us. Every day, in 100 little ways, we choose each other." "Is it really that simple?" "No," he laughed. "It's complicated and messy and sometimes hard, but that's what makes it real. That's what makes it worth choosing." As they stood in their garden, surrounded by the life they were building together, Jasmine knew he was right. Love wasn't about perfect moments or fairy tale endings. It was about choices. The choice to trust again, to risk again, to believe again. And she was choosing this. All of it. Every wonderful, complicated, beautiful piece of it. Tomorrow there would be more decisions to make. About the children's center, about the adoption, about their future together. But tonight, in this moment, all that mattered was that they had chosen love. And love, in all its imperfect glory, had chosen them right back. 1 year to the day after Jasmine had walked out of her wedding in tears, she stood in front of another mirror, in another dress. But this time everything was different. "You look beautiful," Sarah said, adjusting the simple white sundress, "and much happier than last time." "I am happier," Jasmine replied, touching the silver locket that held photos of Ethan and Leo. Everything's different now. The backyard of their home had been transformed. The garden Jasmine and Leo had planted provided a natural backdrop of colorful flowers. Simple white chairs were arranged in a semicircle around a flower-covered arch. No fancy hotel ballrooms this time. No elaborate decorations. Just home, family, and love. "Miss Jasmine." Leo poked his head in, looking handsome in his suit. "Can I come in?" "Of course, sweetie." Leo entered, followed by Olivia, who was carrying a small gift box. "We wanted to give you something before the ceremony," she said. Inside the box was a charm bracelet. Each charm represented a moment in their shared journey. A tiny park bench for their first meeting, a school book for Leo's tutoring, a house for their home, a flower for their garden. "The last charm is empty," Leo explained. "Mum said we can add new ones as we make more memories." Tears welled in Jasmine's eyes. "It's perfect. Save some tears for the ceremony," Olivia teased gently. "Come on, Leo. Let's make sure your father isn't wearing one of those horrible ties he loves." After they left, Sarah hugged Jasmine tight. "A year ago, if someone had told you your ex-fiancé's fraud would be exposed, you'd be running a children's center and you'd be marrying a wonderful man with your soon-to-be adopted son and his ex-wife helping plan the wedding, I would have said they were crazy," Jasmine laughed. "But sometimes the craziest stories are the truest ones." A knock at the door revealed Richard Grayson. "Ready? They're all waiting. Will you walk me down the aisle?" Jasmine asked impulsively. Her own father had passed away years ago, and over the past year, Richard had become like a father to her. "Thought you'd never ask," he said gruffly, offering his arm. The ceremony was everything their first attempt at a wedding hadn't been. Warm, personal, real. Leo stood between his parents, holding both their hands. Olivia sat in the front row, smiling genuinely. Their friends and family, not society's idea of who should be invited, but the people who truly mattered, filled the chairs. A year ago, Ethan began his vows. I was lost. I had success, wealth, everything society said should make me happy, but I was failing at the most important thing, being a father, being a man worthy of love. Then my son ran away in a park, and this beautiful woman in a wedding dress helped me find him. She helped me find myself too. Jasmine squeezed his hands as she began her own vows. A year ago, I thought my heart was broken beyond repair. I thought love was about perfect moments and fairy tale endings, but real love, true love, is about choice. It's about choosing each other every day, through the hard times and the joy. It's about building something together, even when it's messy and complicated. It's about creating family in unexpected ways. Do you have the rings? The officiant asked. I do. Leo stepped forward proudly, then paused. Actually, we have something else first. He pulled out a second ring, a smaller one on a delicate chain. This is for you, Miss Jasmine. Well, Mom Jasmine now. The judge said the adoption will be final next week, but I couldn't wait to give you this. Through tears, Jasmine knelt down to let Leo put the necklace on her. The ring nestled next to the locket right over her heart. The rest of the ceremony passed in a blur of happiness. As they exchanged rings and were pronounced husband and wife, Leo wrapped his arms around both of them. At the reception, held right there in their backyard, everyone commented on how different this wedding was from what might have been a year ago. The food was simple but delicious, including Leo's world-famous spaghetti. Children from Jasmine's center performed a song they'd written specially for the occasion. Even Marcus's former assistant Victoria came, now running her own successful consulting firm. To new beginnings, Richard toasted, raising his glass. And to the family we choose. To love that grows in unexpected gardens, Olivia added, surprising. Everyone with her poetry. To happy endings that are really happy beginnings, Leo declared, making everyone laugh. Later, as the sun set and their guests danced on the lawn, Jasmine and Ethan swayed together under the stars. Having any regrets? He asked softly. About any of it? Jasmine watched Leo teaching Richard some complicated dance move while Olivia laughed and took pictures. She saw Sarah and Victoria deep in conversation by the flower garden. She felt the weight of her new rings, both the wedding band and Leo's gift, and the love they represented. Not a single one, she said. Every step, every choice, every complicated moment led us here, and here is exactly where I want to be. Even with all the drama? Especially with all the drama. She smiled. It makes for a better story. Speaking of stories, Ethan's eyes twinkled. Leo has an announcement he wants to make. Should we let him? On cue, Leo rushed over, barely containing his excitement. Can I tell her now? At Ethan's nod, Leo burst out. We're expanding the children's center. Dad's foundation is funding a whole new wing, and my other mom, is going to teach art classes there. Really? Jasmine looked at Ethan, then Olivia, who had joined them. Really? Olivia confirmed. Turns out retirement from corporate law left me with some free time, and, well, you're not the only one who needed a new beginning. As their guests gathered around to hear the news, Jasmine looked at her family. Her husband, her son, her unexpected friend in her husband's ex-wife, her father-in-law who had become a true father, her best friend who had stood by her through everything, and all the people who had played a part in their story. A year ago, she had thought her life was ending. Instead, it had been just beginning. She had learned that love wasn't about perfect moments but perfect intentions. That family wasn't about blood, but about choice. That happiness wasn't about having everything right, but about having the right people by your side when things went wrong. Most of all, she had learned that every broken promise could lead to a new one, every ended dream could wake you up to a better one, and every shattered heart could be rebuilt stronger than before. As the stars twinkled above their garden and Leo dragged them all onto the dance floor for one last song, Jasmine knew that all of this, was better than any fairy tale. It was real, it was messy, it was complicated, and it was absolutely perfect. The end.